We're going to do things a little differently today. We're going to start right off with our Investing 101 segment. Every week we invite a special expert as our Investing 101 guest professor, and this week we've asked former Wall Street options trader, mathematician, and author Dr. Nassim Nicholas Taleb to demonstrate how driving and investing your money have more in common than you ever knew.
Nassim, I'm an amateur trader. I do my homework. I watch just enough Jim Cramer and television to be dangerous. I read just enough. I understand how the economy works. I'm good to go, man. All I want to do is trade a few stocks.
It's very simple. You take the performance of individual investors, and it's far worse than the market.
For a guy who made his living trading high-risk stock options, Nassim Taleb has a pretty unorthodox view of how everybody else should approach the stock market. His new book, The Black Swan, forces us to recognize that some of our most basic human tendencies are just plain destructive, like believing we have enough knowledge to make a ton of money trading in and out of stocks.
Out of the thousands and thousands of companies out there, a few of them are bound to have 5, 6, 7 positive quarters in a row, just out of plain, simple luck.
And if it is just plain luck, then that means the events that cause certain stocks to go up and down every day are truly random and therefore unpredictable.
The biggest problem we have with markets is that you hear from the winner, you never hear from the losers. Investors are those who have much less frequent transactions. Do investors fare better than traders? Certainly.
And it's the same behavior we fall into when we're trying to get someplace in our cars. Ever wonder, do those drivers who constantly change lanes get there any sooner than those just plodding along at the speed limit? It just seems like everybody else is going faster, passing us by.
One bad crash can ruin your life forever.
That's emergency room doctor Don Rettelmeyer, who got interested in lane-changing behavior after noticing that many of his worst crash victims had been injured doing just that.
When changing lanes, the risks are always real, and they are substantial, whereas the benefits are sometimes totally illusory.
Well, it turns out the lane changers don't arrive any faster. Just like the hyper traders don't make any more money than the stock market average returns.
There's nothing to be gained from the majority of lane changes, whereas there's something to be lost on each and every one of them. Every journey that you take is going to have relatively many moments of unpleasantness when you're being overtaken, and relatively few moments of pleasure when you're the one doing the passing.
So we're really not getting all that much joy out of each little victory, but oh, how we feel the sting of each defeat. Lose a few $1,000 on a stock trade? That hurts.
This is why you should put your money in as broad a portfolio as you can and let the market average take care of you.
So I'm hearing this mathematician and this doctor both saying we shouldn't kid ourselves into believing that we can outmaneuver everybody else. But what about all those Wall Street experts who say they can beat the market? Nassim was one of them.
The professionals, my friend, are just as bad. We're wasting hundreds of billions of dollars given to the brokerage industry. They're doing nothing for us.
But that impulse to do something, nobody's totally immune, not even Nassim.
No.
Look, you just changed lanes.
Actually, it got me in danger. Look what happened, all right? I cannot resist changing lane. I'm going to be changing lane because this lane seems to be faster.
It's a gut reaction.
It's a gut reaction.
And on a long road trip, you simply have to make some tactical changes.
It turned out that this lane was faster. But the minute you change lane, look at it. This guy's going faster than me.
Right, exactly.
So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
But most times, he says, we win by staying the course in lots of high-quality investments where we can spread the risk. But if you absolutely have to give in to the urge to make a move, he says take that risk with just a small amount of money. Just don't think of it as investing.
Trade stocks, okay, but know that it's for entertainment, so it's too small a portfolio, so you can change lanes as often as you want, knowing that the costs are going to be minimal.
And get your lane changing urges out.
Life will be a lot more fun, and it will keep you out of trouble. Okay?
Right.
Well, Pam, whether it's what we do behind the wheel or what we do with our money, both these PhDs seem to be saying it's what you shouldn't do. In other words, the most dangerous maneuvers to avoid that matter most.
No, I hear you, Jack. And the point seems so subtle, and it's actually huge, because think about it. When it comes to investing your money, if you can identify and eliminate the impulse decisions, you're going to avoid the most costly mistakes.
Okay, Pam, just drive carefully, will you?
Hey, New York has been fun, and I'll see you back on the West Coast sooner than you think.
Now, keep in mind, Nassim, the man that you saw behind the wheel, is a mathematician and former professional options trader. Right now, we want to hear from our favorite economist, lawyer, and general all-around smart guy, Ben Stein. Ben, you agree that it doesn't pay to trade in and out of the stock market like a madman in hopes of getting there faster, right?
You just do it patiently across a wide spectrum of diversified investments, and you'll get where you want to go. There's no trick. There was a very famous Greek mathematician who said there is no royal road to geometry, meaning to say there's no special way that a king can learn it faster than a commoner.
Well, as always, thank you, Ben Stein. Pam? Pam, you were just in New York. I just talked to you there. How did you get here so fast?
Road trip, Jack, road trip. Ah, cross country. Man, I made it in record time. I'm telling you, you should have seen me. Straight through Nebraska, right through Nevada. Didn't change lanes once.
You didn't change lanes once at all?
Well, maybe once, maybe twice. But it was fun.
And I see that Chloe, Pam's dog, was navigating once again.
You know she loves to go for a ride. Who needs GPS with her?
Nobody when you have Chloe. I got to tell you, the switching lane study is incredibly eye-opening, and I can see how the very same psychology applies to buying and selling stocks. Now, don't you find it just a little ironic that Nassim, somebody who used to take huge risks as an institutional trader, is now doling out what seems to be very conservative advice? He actually agrees with most experts, other people we've had on this show.
That's right, exactly. Well, safety first. And yes, he now considers himself beyond conservative. I'll tell you now, when we were riding around New York, he confided in me that he's actually made some enemies on Wall Street because he argues that staying the course is simply a better strategy than trading in and out of the market.
You can see how that would upset some people.